Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tristan Barrocks here, the digital storyteller, and I'm super excited to be with you once again for another episode of Cinecut, where we will be talking about the software called Filmstro. But it's not just any software, it's a software music manipulation software that is pretty dope. And I think you'll like it just a little bit. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Woo! So before we get started and we jump into the Filmstro application, I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about what Filmstro is. It's a software that was created by a team of dope creatives in the UK to give film creators a little bit more, I would say, flexibility in terms of being able to customize their royalty-free music. Now, it's not any royalty-free music, but Filmstro actually is a software that comes with a music library. And this music library is very unique. It's a little bit different than most other libraries like MusicBed or like Soundstripe or like Artlist. The reason why it's different is because the music is actually designed in a way where it's flexible and it can give you different tones and different nuances and different areas of the music. So the music that you use within the software gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of how the song actually is customized to your film piece. And the reason why I think this is really unique and this is something that people should know about is because, again, as a filmmaker, a lot of times you're restricted by the music and the music licensing that you purchase. For instance, if you go to MusicBed or if you go to Soundstripe or you go to some of these other websites, they have amazing music libraries, but you aren't always able to customize the music yourself. You can definitely request to customize the music, but you can't just necessarily take a song that's 3 minutes long and turn it into 7 minutes or 10 minutes long. And not necessarily. You have to really double check the music licensing agreement that you have or the membership that you have to make sure that you're able to actually make adjustments on your own and you're not breaking the licensing agreement. That being said, the reason why Filmstro is unique is because it uses this philosophy of power, depth, and momentum to be able to change the sound and the intensity and the feel of every single track that you find in their library. Now, when we jump into the software, you'll understand a little bit more about what I mean by power, depth, and momentum and how they affect the feel and the overall tone of a song and how those settings can really emphasize or de-emphasize elements of your film exactly the way you want it to. So let's jump into the software. All right, guys, we are in Filmstro Pro, and I am excited to quickly show you some of the features of this amazing audio scoring software. Quickly going through the window really quickly, we have our main stage area where it says Filmstro. Down here is our timeline. Over to the corner is really where the magic happens, where we're going to be adjusting these sliders. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. And over in the top left-hand corner, we have our four icons or four sort of areas, which is collections, favorites, downloads, and search. Searching is where you can find music really easily. So if I'm looking up here, okay, that was an interesting song. There we go. All right, we got something. Check the rhyme now. What? Yeah. As you can see, I'm not a rapper at all. But the thing I really like about it is, again, with the search functionality, it's pretty quick. You can go, if we want to go to, I don't know, drums, just type in drums. Now all of a sudden it's going to give us drums really quickly. Right? So as you can see, the search functionality is super quick, super responsive. I'm just going to put in a letter in the search field, and automatically it starts showing scores of music that might work with what I'm trying to type in as I'm typing, which is nice. Downloads is basically if you wanted to, let's say for instance, music library from Filmstro to be locally located on your computer. And the reason for that is that maybe you don't have a great internet connection, maybe you're traveling a lot, maybe this is a desktop and you don't want to wait for things to download each time. You want everything, the previews as well as the full edited versions of the music scores and the tracks to be quickly accessible. Well, then you would download the the complete Filmstro library locally on your computer. It would take up a little bit of space, but you would have it there. Now, if space is a premium for you when it comes to your computer, or you just don't want to have a whole bunch of files on your computer that are going to take up space and slow down the computer potentially, then the other option is just to basically use the program as is, where it streams from the cloud. And streaming from the cloud, the thing that's beneficial about that is that, again, you're saving space on your computer, and all you need is an internet connection. Now, if you don't have the internet connection, uh, then you're kind of out of luck. You may see some hearts on the side here. Now, these hearts represent an option, which is to add a track to your favorites. So if I click on this track here, and you'll see that this heart turns fuchsia or pink. And when we go to our favorites, now that track is added to the last option at the bottom here. Now, if I don't want this track anymore, I no longer want it on my favorites, I'll just click on the heart again and it removes it from there. The last area, which is the area that you'll probably use the most in Filmstro, is the collections area. Now, the collections are made up of 8 different tiles, and we'll jump into each one as they come. So demo is the first one. Demo actually just shows you a couple of tracks that you can demo really quickly and kind of see how things work. All right, if you just want to demo different songs. All right, so you're starting to see some of the magic happening there. Um, if we go back to our collections, we have new tracks. So here's the thing that I really, really love about the Filmstro team is that they love, absolutely love to add new music. Almost every week, they're adding new tracks, new pieces of media, new things that will allow you to make better films and make better pieces of art and creative things and comedic things, and that's what I respect so much about the Filmstro team is that they are passionate about listening to the clients and to us, the creators or the creatives, and really making adjustments that make sense and make you want to be even more excited about using a program like this. So this is that's the new tracks tile. So obviously it shows us all the new tracks. Playlists are some of the playlists that have been created by the team. So we have staff picks, we have trending, and we have popular epic trailer. All right, if we go into our featured, these are some of the featured groups that people tend to gravitate to. So corporate, wedding film, or even weird music. The last 4 tiles are speak to the different ways that we search for music. So, for instance, some people like myself search for music based upon feel. Right? What mood am I in, or what mood am I trying to create? Am I trying to create a happy or a sad mood? Am I trying to create an energetic, motivational mood? What mood of music am I looking for to edit with? And when I click on moods, you see adventurous, you see energetic, you see excited, joyful, sad, scared, tense. So there's a lot of different feelings or moods that you can use to find the music that you need. Or if you're a person that's a little bit more traditional, you can go under film and video genre. So you have horror, you have aerial, you have fashion, you have magical and mysterious, you have period drama, you have a whole bunch of different genres underneath the film and video genres. Then the next area, the next tile is music genres. So you have electronic, you have dance, you have classical, you have blues. So you can go ahead and actually look for music underneath these particular types of music genre. So the last area is we have instrumental palettes. So these are kind of areas, search areas based upon the types of instruments that you want to use. So you can look and search for music under acoustic guitar, under solo piano, under percussion, under piano and strings, under epic orchestra. So this is actually a really cool tool, in addition to some of the other things. Now that we kind of looked at all the tiles, let's actually jump in and create a project. So if we want to create a project, we got to go click on the create button here, and under the create button we have a new screen now, that allows us to either import video or to create a soundtrack only. Now, what is the difference between the two? It really goes back to the initial philosophy of the Filmstro team, the previous versions of Filmstro. When you used to create a project in Filmstro, it forced you to import a video in order to access the music and create a score based upon the video that you imported. So you couldn't just select a song and start messing around with it and tweaking it to make it into the piece that you want. And there was a fundamental issue with this, at least from my standpoint. I'm one of those type of digital storytellers that relies heavily on music first to set the tone for how I'm going to edit a piece, because a lot of my pieces are music driven and score driven. So that being said, it was really important for me to be able to find scores of music, edit them the way I want it, and then bring in the elements of video to match that, or film to match that, or visuals to match that. So this sort of method where I had to bring in the finished work first before I could apply music was a little bit challenging for me. But let's jump into the first option, which is import video. So when you import a video, you got to find an MP4. If you try to use an MOV, or you try and use an M4V, those are not compatible, or they don't work really well, at least in my experience, with Filmstro Pro. But there's a quick workaround to get those videos to work in Filmstro Pro, and that is when you go to that video clip, just change the ending file type from MOV or M4V to MP4. If you change it to MP4, on a Mac at least, it'll ask you, "Are you sure you want to do that?" You click yes, and then Filmstro Pro will automatically ingest those clips easily. So let's look at the clip that I have here. So as you can see, this is basically a couple of slow motion B-roll clips that I shot on my FS5 Mark II. Because this video is a little bit more emotionally driven, I want to find something based upon emotion, or based upon a certain type of sound that I like. Now, the sound of music, or the instruments that I really like using, are acoustic guitar and just solo piano. So I'm going to go under instrument palette, and under instrument palette, I'm going to go to solo piano. And under solo piano, I'm going to play the first track and see how this sounds. Ooh, this sounds pretty good. Bam, bam, ba, bam, bam. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. So I have my track here. All I have to do is click, hold, and drag it down to the bottom here. And you see how this dotted line now highlights. I release it, and now it's in there. Okay, now my track's in there. I can press play, and I can hear how it sounds with the video. So I know what you're thinking. Well, what's the big deal, Tristan? Like, yeah, so we have this track here. What are we gonna do? Edit it, cut it, just like we would do in Final Cut or in Premiere Pro or in DaVinci Resolve. What's the big deal? What makes Filmstro Pro so much different? Well, there are three major elements that make Filmstro Pro really unique and really special, and that is momentum, and that is these sliders down here. That is momentum, depth, and power. These sliders dramatically allow you to change the sound, the feel, the thickness, the fullness, um, the tempo of the music that you've selected. So you may start out with a basic song like this, but if you want to add a little bit more depth, you end up with a sound like this. So just gonna undo that. So did you see what just happened there? I know it's magic. I'm gonna break it all down for you guys. So first, let's talk about what the differences are: momentum, depth, and power. So momentum speaks to sort of the tempo, the quickness or the slowness of the track, the speed of the track. It's all about, is it momentum? Is it moving faster to the end, or is it moving slower to the end? Is it dragging its heels or dragging the beat, or is the beat now picking up? Right? Is the intensity of the beat picking up? That's really what momentum is. Now depth is the layers of the music. How layered is the music? Are there extra vocals? Are there extra cymbals? Is there a clanging of the drum, or is there a tropical wind in the background? Are there sound effects? Are there reverb and echo? Things that will fill the space, that will give body and meat to the bones of the song, the skeleton of the song, right? Because right now we're just a skeleton of what the song can be. Power is about the feeling. How impactful are our moments? Are there peaks and valleys in the song? Are there moments where there are really high highs and low lows? Power is the emphasis on rhythm, on fills, on hits, on maybe the pocket. So power is really about how much force is in the song, and how much feeling is in the song. Is it really emotional, or is it really controlled? Depth speaks to the layers, so the amount of elements that are filling in the track. And then momentum speaks to the tempo, speed, and overall movement of the song. So let's start out with momentum and see where it takes us from there. Okay? So did you see what happened there? As I was pulling the slider up and up and up for momentum, the program was creating keyframes, and it was doing it automatically. And guess what? We can actually control those keyframes. We can pull them exactly the way we want to pull them. If we need to add some more keyframes, all we have to do is double tap. We can bring this up if we wanted to. You can bring it down. You can do a lot of different things. So now let's hear how the momentum sounds now. So let's try going to depth now, and let's try and build our depth into this song now. And I'm going to try and start pretty high and then go from there. right? You see what's happening there? Right? We made our keyframes in there. I can adjust my keyframes a bit. We want to really bring in the power probably around this 20-second mark. So I'm just going to put my playhead there, and then I'm going to add some power. All right, so let's listen to it all together. Now let's jump into creating a soundtrack without any video at all, just a soundtrack by itself. So we're going to click on that. So the first thing that's going to come up is a window that's going to ask us what's the duration. So I'm going to say 5 minutes, and I'm going to hit the save button, and it's going to start preparing a project that will be 5 minutes long. Okay, so now we have our track open, or our project open, and all we have to do is find a piece of music or a track that we want to splice up, or we want to rescore. So I'm going to do something with the aerials genre, because I do a lot of droning and things of that nature, and I want to create a drone song. This sounds pretty cool. There you go, we drug in the track. So we're just going to press play and see what the default starting point is. So it's always, the momentum, depth, and power are always at a default of 0. So when we press play, we can get a sense of how this song sounds. And you can just really feel out what you want the song to be. Again, this is a 5-minute song. I'm just going to be programming the first minute and a half. And there you go. I mean, how many times have you tried to do this with a track that you bought off of, I don't know, musicbed.com or Soundstripe or Artlist, or, you know, the list can go on and on and on. And little did you know, you weren't able to actually make changes to the song, or you could only loop it twice, or you had to get approval from the artist to make any adjustments to the song. The great thing about Filmstro Pro is that it gives you the looping that you want. It gives you the ability to really change the nuances of the song. It also gives you the ability and access to a boatload of tracks that are pretty darn good. I mean, in terms of quality and in terms of production, they're really, really good. And that's the end of our review on Filmstro Pro. I would love to do more tutorials, and I plan to do more tutorials about this amazing software. Thank you again to the team for allowing me to really jump in, head first into this software. I think it has a lot of potential, and they're doing a lot of things right. A few tweaks here and there, I think we'll just take it over the top. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and tell more people about the channel, because I do want to build, grow, and help this community thrive in any way possible. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day and stay creative. Peace.